Hello, my name is Katie Anderson and I'm with the Central York School District. And for my personal learning network, I have chosen to use Symbaloo. What I really liked about this was that it organized everything for me personally as an educator now, but also as a soon-to-be school administrative leader. So I was able to kind of go through and select pre-existing ideas, Symbaloo pages, but I was also able to create my own based on my personal needs. And so as I was going through and adding things, several of the things from this middle section down are personal to my classroom currently and the things that I kind of look up and use within my classroom. But the first two rows are kind of my professional links. And so as you can see, I have district website here, but I also have one here. And this pertains to the leadership standards, standard number 1, where you can go into my school's website and see all the learning cogs and the vision and journey for our district, but it's also a lot of communication of what the different changes are and how this district is kind of viewing where things are going to grow. And so this information is available for any person who would like to kind of learn more about our district and how we are enhancing our curriculum. This is for any stakeholder, and I like this because it goes along with the 7 habits. The habit number 2, beginning with the end in mind. We have this idea that we want our learners to be intrinsically motivated, things that they want to learn, projects, ideas, problems, and so we've created these teams within an ecosystem to try to identify ways that we can better help students make more out of their education and be motivated learners. And so on each of these teams we have district employees from all of the grade levels. We have students, we have community members, board members, so we really have sought out to provide everyone with more information. So that really lends itself well to leadership standard number 1. As we move on to leadership standard number 2, I have on my Symbaloo my Schoology tab. With Schoology, I can provide my students with multifaceted learning. They can choose to do project-based learning. They can choose to do a hybrid approach to learning or a flipped approach to learning, and I provide them with all the information for the various units so that they can kind of keep track and pace themselves. I give them some agency here with how they present their information. I provide all the resources for them. Everything is aligned to the Common Core standards or the PA Core, and so this allows me to have more time to have conferences with my students. I really think this is an effective leadership approach because it's really looking at individual students and kind of an individual learning plan for those students. Along with this, though, because you can't just start there and think that everybody knows what they're doing, I have a link to the Buck Institute for Project-Based Learning. That is a really great resource for anyone in education to learn more about these practices and how to align things for all students that are rigorous and coherent to curricular and instructional programs. Also, to help my students, I have my Performance Plus here. This is our school's database that tells us about the demographics of our students, their past performance, everything from discipline records to attendance records, previous teachers. It's that trail that tracks their performance from kindergarten through 12th grade to allow teachers to make more educated decisions on the needs of students and if remediation is necessary or anything like that. Along with this, I really have to align this with habit number 4, the think win-win, because we're presenting information for students to learn in a way that they can comprehend and they can access, which is their choice in flipped learning environments or project-based learning. I provide them with all of the Schoology information up front so that they can see all of the units that we'll be studying, but I also communicate with my students through my Twitter page as well as my Schoology page to allow them to kind of see the transparency of my course, and I access them through social media that they're familiar with, that they're comfortable with. And so we will oftentimes have Twitter chats or something like that through the Twitter account because it's somewhere that they feel most comfortable. And really that is a win-win for students when they can access things through their databases, the things that they're most familiar with. It becomes less intimidating for them and actually pretty fun. The leadership standard number 3, this is where I kind of go to my RSS feeds. What I really like about this is it gives you a little bit of information regarding the different topics and the times that they were released in articles. But I like this because I can follow the Learning Network, Edutopia, Education Week, parent involvement. I love this because these are published articles by parents talking about different things that they see happening in education and how they view those things and those trends and changes and their questions and concerns. That really allows me to kind of anticipate any kind of feelings or challenges that parents might be facing. A Principal's Reflections is another RSS feed that I really like. This blog is exactly that, reflections from principals talking about today's classrooms, things that we kind of have to be very cautious and careful as far as what information we're putting out there and how quickly we want to see change happen, how we are branding ourselves, things that are really applicable to the world in which we live today. Education Week Teacher, any new trends, ideas, what works in education, it's really important. And then I have a query feed over here. This is my Twitter chat that I participate in every Thursday for What is School. For this chat, I talk to people across the world actually, and we discuss different topics and trends in education. We try to work with each other to collaborate and problem solve, and I've actually been able to work with other teachers in other districts and states based off of meeting them in this chat room. So it's really kind of nice for me. But this aligns well with the habit of synergizing, receiving help from others so that we can just work well together. Not reinventing the wheel, but seeing what's already out there and kind of having this database of resources to go to. So I love this page because it's like my current events for education. Leadership standard number 4, again, looking at the same RSS feed for parent involvement. I actively use Twitter and my learning management system of Schoology to update parents or students. Parents can have access to Schoology, and it keeps all of my students anonymous, but allows the parents to kind of see what's going on. And each day I go through and I do a little bit of an update telling students or parents what they need to do for the course. It's really helpful in having that transparent information there for everyone to use. I also use, on my Symbaloo, I have my other resource that I use daily, which is Teacher Logic. This is on the parents' end, Home Logic, where they can view their students' grades and any assignments that have been given. Again, keeping that transparency and letting them know what's going on. But because parents are not in the classroom all the time, I also maintain web pages for each of my courses. And this is through Weebly, which I did have a button on my Symbaloo for Weebly right over here. But on my Weebly page, I break down what it is that we're doing in classes and help parents better understand the step-by-step process. I also try to create this so that it's a good way for other educators to step into a role similar to mine and pick up with, in this case, project-based learning that I did with my 9th graders. And so I have all the information on here, and I kind of keep this chronicled so that anybody can access it and better understand what's going on. This goes along with habit number 1 of being proactive, because I believe that inquiry research and kind of looking into education and being aware of things sets the stage for participants in order to take care of myself, which is part of habit number 7. But by anticipating the needs of my students and their families and my community members, I'm better able to take care of myself, make sure that I have things covered, and let people understand what's happening so that I can really focus on the important aspects of education, taking care of my students and putting them first. And so by having all this information done, I'm proactively working on my leadership and providing people with all the information that they need. I'm the type of person that doesn't want to be in the dark about things. I want to know what's going on, and if I can avoid being taken by surprise, then I absolutely will try everything that I can to do so. As far as standard number 5, again, I use Schoology as my learning management system in my Weebly site. And this helps me to kind of be transparent with everything that is happening. I also use a blog for my reflective practices. I maintain a Google Doc for more specific reflective practices of what's happening in my classroom. And I have all of that linked over here as well. I have my Google Docs material here for quick reference. But this goes with habit number 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. All of my resources in which I can reach out to other individuals, like my Twitter account, like my Weebly account, like the different cogs on the home web page for my district, like the RSS feeds. It's important to value all stakeholders and all persons' perspectives. Every person needs to know that they are valid. Within this habit, we should be leaders that value and include everyone. We're transparent so that few items, if any, get lost in translation. And so it's really important for me to seek first to understand and then to be understood. I want to see what's out there. I want to allow my students to talk to me and parents to have a platform. That's why I value all of the different groups that I'm a part of through the district. As a leader, I want to provide ample opportunity for anyone who wants to be involved as a stakeholder in education to have their voice heard, to attend board meetings or to attend other community school-based meetings, to have a say in the direction that our school district is moving in. Which leads me to standard number 6. For my RSS feeds and any collaborative work with the Pennsylvania Department of Education on state assessments or anything like that, I advocate for my students and teachers in my building. All habits kind of come into play here because of my leadership vision and my goals to do what is best for my students, my staff, and education. Collaboration is key to partnerships, trust and understanding, empathizing, and celebrating education, which is why I also maintain a personal website off of Weebly that goes through all of the different collaborations that I've had, but also the workshops that I have run to allow people to further access the materials that I have created in the past and allows them to access what works in education, the best possible materials and resources, and how I've come into contact and communication with those things. And so I believe that all of this is extremely important to giving everyone a fair chance in education. Again, in keeping up with the latest trends in education, I do as much social media as I possibly can, and that is socially responsible, so that I can document things and use it as a resource and also share that information in a collaborative environment. The What is School web chat that I do on Twitter each Thursday, I actually house the Storify archives here so that I can refer back to them at any point and see what we had talked about in the past. So as new things come up within my building, I can have a better understanding of what was already discussed, and maybe somebody already did something at their building. So again, not reinventing the wheel, but seeing what's out there. As a result of this field experience, I was really able to see that there are universal trends in education, but there are also trends and issues specifically pertaining to my own district. No matter what, this field experience has been a win-win for me, learning more about leadership as it pertains to not only my district, but other districts around our country. This gathering information will be something that will stay with me from this point through my leadership years.